Hello, my name is Andrew Erickson. I run a YouTube channel called Talos of Tech, and I have survived 2 weeks now without 3D touch on the iPhone XS Max. So a lot of people on YouTube may have not known this, but over on Twitch, where I do a lot of live streams and a lot of things you're missing out on because live content is fun and you can get your questions answered, and I try to do it every other day. But we were talking a lot about 3D touch being removed on one of our earlier Twitch streams. I'm sure some of you may have heard it's possible that in 2019, none of the 3 iPhones coming out could have 3D touch. Anyways, we were live streaming on Twitch and we were talking about the removal of 3D touch, and I said, if someone donates 10,000 bits, then I will turn off 3D touch on my iPhone XS Max until the new iPhone comes out. If the new iPhone has 3D touch, then I can go back to using it. But if the new iPhone does not have 3D touch, that means I just won't have it for the rest of my life. It's gone. So for this, I was not happy. Apple's just deciding that not that many everyday consumers know about it, and it's too expensive to implement into the phone, and they could save money by not having it. And they see the sales of the XR, and they see haptic touch seems to be good enough for people, so we'll just not do it anymore, which I am very upset with, particularly if you've been a fan of Apple and you've been following tech news since the iPhone 6S days, because ever since the iPhone 6S, Apple has been showcasing and advertising that iPhones have this revolutionary technology that hasn't been used in other smartphones before called 3D touch, that basically allows you to right-click on a touchscreen by being able to press harder on that display. I really love this feature. Some things are more useful than others. It originally was most heavily advertised by pushing hard on apps on your home screen to have different options pop up. And remember, to the people who say haptic touch can replace everything 3D touch does, holding an app on your home screen does not do the exact same thing that 3D touch does. 3D touch means opening up different menus and opening up certain things faster than a haptic touch, because Apple's fancy terminology of haptic touch is really just their way of saying press and hold for a little bit longer. That means you have to wait. That means you have to tap on something and then keep holding it, which in one sitting is not a very long time, but if you're doing it constantly, 3D touch saves you an immense amount of time, and there are plenty of videos to showcase how much faster using iOS can be when you have 3D touch implemented. In fact, the most useful feature for me has to be the keyboard 3D touch feature, which allowed you to press hard on the keyboard anywhere on the keyboard, and you could activate the cursor in iOS so that you could correct misspellings or go back and add words where you needed to add more. And being able to do that from the keyboard and not having to go up and try to press and hold the cursor and get it to land exactly where you want to, that solution is so much slower than what we had with 3D touch. And what I'm not excited about when I hear the leaks about removing 3D touch is it's not a feature Apple's removing in favor of a better technology. You guys know Apple removes things all the time. They've removed the headphone jack, they've removed the SD card slot, they've removed Lightning from the new iPad Pros. Apple removes things that we're used to using all the time. That's definitely something they're known for, but anytime they do it, whether they're right to or wrong to, whether you agree with it or you don't agree with it, for the most part, it's always been because they're in pursuit and they want to research and further a different technology. One that I personally agree with, removing of the headphone jack, was Apple's way of promoting that wireless technology is ready. It's ready for mainstream markets, and they showcased AirPods alongside the removal of the headphone jack to show, look, this is how good headphones can be. We think it's better if everyone switches to wireless, so we're going to start pushing it. With the removal of Lightning on the iPad Pro, Apple replaced it with USB-C and said, you know, this is the last port. This port is far more capable. This port can transfer far more data speeds, can charge faster, overall can do more for the product, so that's why we're abandoning this old technology in favor of something better. One removal I don't necessarily agree with, I'm kind of not okay with, was the removal of the SD card slot on the MacBook Pro. Apple's answer to that has been that they think that Wi-Fi transferring data between cameras and MacBooks, they want that technology to get better, and they were seeing it improve, so that's why they removed the SD card slot on the MacBook. But when I heard that, I was like, no. Have you tried to transfer footage from your camera to a computer via Wi-Fi? It's not a fun experience. And Apple, if you allowed third parties to have AirDrop support, that would be a different story, and I would actually be in favor of it, because then new cameras, new DSLRs people buy, could wirelessly and easily share their data and footage to MacBooks, and there you would have a better wireless alternative. But right now, Apple doesn't provide a solution, and I'm kind of not okay with them removing the SD card slot from the MacBook Pro, because we all really do use that and need it a lot. But regardless regardless of me being okay with it, Apple still has the mindset of, well, we removed it because we want you to move to wireless data transfer, okay? So we agree it's too early, we're not ready for that, but still, the mindset is there's a better technology we want to get to, and we're hoping that by removing the legacy port, we can switch to a better future with less cables and easier transferring of data. Now, coming back to the removal of 3D Touch. This is not in pursuit of a better technology. This is Apple literally just saying it's too complicated to manufacture. We'll probably be able to keep the price of the iPhone lower if we don't include 3D Touch, but I'm talking about the manufacturing costs. Like, if the next generation iPhones don't have 3D Touch, don't expect them to be cheaper to us. We're probably still gonna pay the same exact price of the iPhones that Apple sold in 2018. I'm anticipating that's all gonna stay the same. $750 for the 11R, for the iPhone 11 is probably gonna be $1,000, and the iPhone 11 Max is likely going to be $1,100. Richie did a good video about why iPhones are as expensive as they are, and I highly recommend you go watch his video on that as he explains the justification of iPhones getting more expensive. But with the downfall of iPhone sales and the plateau of the smartphone market, I think it makes sense that Apple would kind of stop a little bit right here and probably try to keep iPhones the same price. As Tim Cook has said, he does believe that price is a factor, but the removing of 3D Touch is a matter of a few dollars in the manufacturing process, which simply means that Apple may be able to implement more technology and more innovation that we don't have in our current 2018 iPhones in replacement of 3D Touch, and that may result in the phones staying the same price, but once again, missing features that we've had for years. iPhones have had 3D Touch since the 6S. Apple doesn't even make that phone anymore. In fact, they put force-sensitive displays in every single Apple Watch that's ever come out. Series 0, the Apple Watch Sport, the gold, solid gold Apple Watch. Even that thing had a force touch display. Not the same as 3D Touch, but still, the technology of measuring your finger pressure as you're tapping the display is still available on every single Apple Watch Apple's ever made. The fact that you're able to make $300, maybe even less than $300 Apple Watches with force-sensitive displays, but now you're saying you want to make $1,000 or $1,100 iPhones that don't have a feature we've had since the iPhone 6S, that annoys me, and I'm not looking forward to that. And with my experience of turning 3D Touch off on the XS Max, yeah, I gotta admit it was pretty frustrating, particularly with that keyboard shortcut that I used to have. Now I have to hold the space bar because, for those of you who don't know, or maybe you want to try this challenge with me, if you turn off 3D Touch on an iPhone that has 3D Touch, it'll basically be replaced with haptic touch like it is on the XR. So, like on the iPhone lock screen, just pressing and holding, the flashlight activates that, whereas before I would have to 3D Touch that button, now I just press and hold, which I will also add has resulted in me accidentally turning the flash on quite often, because before I would have to give it a force press in order to get the flashlight to turn on, whereas now, if I just pick up my phone the wrong way and the display's on, the flashlight will just turn on even when I don't want it to. Look, I just made a glitch in iOS. Can't wait for iOS. Okay, it's fixed. But that was weird. I've never seen that. As well as so many menus that 3D Touch can open in Control Center that I no longer have because it's all been replaced with haptic touch. You know, you still can access certain things. It's just now a matter of press wait. Okay, now it's open. Press wait. Okay, now it's open. I feel like I'm always a second behind now, whereas before when I had 3D Touch, all of these menus, all of these features, all of these things I've been used to having for years, I could just activate instantly because it's very easy for me to just all of a sudden press hard on the display and be like, boom, open, boom, go. Now, I cannot do that, and because of the challenge I agreed to, which all started on Twitch, with me saying, you know what, I'll turn 3D Touch off on my phone and not use 3D Touch until the next iPhone comes out. I would do that challenge if someone donated 10,000 bits. If you're not on Twitch, 1 bit equals 1 penny, so 10,000 bits is about $100. Not thinking anyone would do it. No one had donated 10,000 bits in a long time, so I was like, that's way out of the norm. No one would actually donate that much. But then someone did it, and I appreciate the donation. You know, I got $100, but now I'm missing 3D Touch on my XS Max, which is a feature I really, really appreciated, and I don't know why I set myself up for these stupid challenges. First it was the Pixel, and now it's the no 3D Touch thing. It's just, everything's gotta be this challenge now. Everything's gotta be a try doing this for this long, try doing this for this long. Why can't I just live normally and happily with my tech for like a while, you know? I had like a perfectly working XS Max expect for the month of December. And I was like, this is nice. And January came along and slapped me in the face and said, nope, you're gonna lose features now because you need to test out things for people. I really shouldn't be complaining. I'm very grateful for my job. I'm very grateful for what you guys allow me to do. But man, if the next iPhone does not have 3D touch, I'm really, really going to miss it because I'm already missing it. Granted, I've not had it for a while now. I'm starting to get used to it, where before I used to press hard on the display. I'm now getting used to just pressing and holding and not having to worry about pressing hard. I'm slowly relearning iOS to the point that there won't be 3D touch. It's not like I'm gonna not upgrade, or it's not like I'm gonna not get the next iPhone because I won't have 3D touch. This is a tech channel. I have to review this stuff regardless, but the removal of it will be severely missed, and I think it'll be a sad day for Apple because it's the day that they abandon something simply for the sake of keeping production costs lower and not because of the pursuit of a better technology. I don't understand how much money they're saving by removing 3D touch, but please, Apple, it's not worth it. Let me know what you guys think of the removal of 3D touch down in the comments below, and please, hopefully someone at Apple can see this. And I know it's not likely, but maybe they could act on it. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you in the next one.